On today's show, tonight's game against the Washington Wizards proved just how far this Dallas Mavericks team is away from being a contender. It's very far.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
Dog, on 5.
Explain yourself like
all these changes, I still got my dog Dwight Powell.
You are Locked On Mavs. Great, your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Still can't leave.
Your team every day.
I'm going to get a city like that.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks, your team every day. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Mavs for 10 years. Thanks for being every day, making Locked On Mavs your first listen each and every day. And making Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network out there. Thank you for helping us get there. Joining me, as always, on the post-game show, the post-game prodigy from the Great Slightly Biased YouTube channel. What you got for me, Slightly Biased?
Just happy, man. You know, when you think about this team's arch rivals over the years, the Thunder, the Spurs, the Rockets, like this Wizards team is, we're going to be competing with them all year. So happy to get a win, much needed one.
We're going to talk about the Mavs win against the Wizards and, all that kind of stuff. Yes, I did touch grass this weekend, and yes, the sun did attack back today.
Yeah, where were you at? Where was that sunny? I mean, it's actually been hot here.
It was hot here
for those who aren't in the
today.
Metroplex.
But let's talk about that. Let's talk about that game and get into it. Let's first start here. I am not impressed by a win against the Washington Wizards in any way. It's fine that they got a win, 3-7. Okay, not great. 180 teams since 2000 have started the season 3-7. 180 teams. Out of those 180 teams, how many have made the playoffs? Slightly Biased.
That's a tough one to put me on the spot on. 26.
Absolutely just blazing. This man knows his stats. 26 teams out of the 180 that have started the season 3-7.
I just got it.
Since 2000 have made the playoffs. This Mavericks team is nowhere close to contending. Nowhere close to being even a cohesive basketball team. Another game where you go out there, it's 107.8 offensive rating against another bottom 5 defense in this Washington Wizards team. Like, I am just not impressed by this team in any way. We were sold that this team was going to be this, title contending team. I'm seeing a lot of people bring up the Nico Harrison. Well, you'll see in April when we're competing for a championship. When Isaac asked the question, why shouldn't you be fired? And it's just not anywhere close to there. And you guys said it on the show yesterday. I'm with you that some changes need to be made. I don't know that Nico Harrison is going to make enough change on the court for this team, but maybe they don't need that. Maybe they just need somebody that rebuild the vibes, change how everything is feeling right now, because man, it is brutal to watch Cooper Flagg try and go through this season when it is just this dysfunctional, this sad, this oh my gosh, we're fighting for our lives to beat the Washington Wizards in the fourth quarter down 7. It is just brutal to watch right now.
Yeah, I mean, I want to be fair because I want to, it was for their morale. Even if you're somebody who's like, hey, a loss tonight could have greatly expedited a decision on Nico, because I don't know what you do if you start 2-8 and you just lost twice to the Wizards in the span of a week, right? Like, I don't know how you could sit there and do nothing after that. It probably wasn't going to happen anyways. But even if you're someone who's like pro tank, this team needed a win. Like, just from the guys on the court, they needed a win. Personally, I'm kind of with you. And we talked about this last night. It would be different if we were watching these games. It's like, guys, they're doing this and they're doing this. Like, yeah, the results aren't there right now, but you could just kind of tell they're working their way towards a run. And if they fix this and fix this, then they're going to be a good team.
There's no bones.
Right. Yeah. And even in a game like tonight, you watch it and you're like, hey, Naji had a fantastic game tonight, man. Kudos to him. Like, he was awesome tonight. But it's like, there still wasn't enough there for me in the process of what they did, where I'm like, okay, build off this, and you can rattle off a win streak. Like, I think I'd be more excited about a win if I felt that way. Whereas, like, if they came out and maybe they had a few good performances in a row and losses, and then beat this Wizards team by 30, and it was like, okay, maybe they're starting to turn a corner. But even over the course of this game, man, it was just same old, really. But it's maybe we could just come on here and celebrate these games, because hey, maybe we'll look back at this in a few months and be like, there just weren't that many of them. There just weren't that many wins. So you had to celebrate the ones you did have.
All right, let me try again. On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks beat the Washington Wizards.
We didn't let it
Absolutely
ride,
happened.
man.
We'll talk about that. Cooper Flagg goes off in the third quarter. Today's Locked On Mavs.
This is Cooper Flagg, and you're listening to Locked On Mavs.
I'm just not gonna come on here and do that right now, man.
No, I get it.
I get that how like there may not be that many because man, this season is already down the tubes. I mean, you have historically right now with this start right here, and yes, they have injuries. Yes, Anthony Davis is out. Yes, Lively is out. Yes, Klay missed this game due to illness. Kyrie Irving is obviously still out. But if I just go by the numbers I just told you, you have like a 14% chance to make the to make the playoffs even.
I mean, I'd even be interested in knowing of those teams that made it. I mean, what are they, like 8 seeds in the East that get, ran through in the first round would be my guess, probably. Are there any good teams?
It's a great question. I can only see where they finish, but I know that a lot of them were East teams.
Because, yeah, I mean, do any of the teams off the top of your head, you're like, oh, that team had a deep run.
I will say one of the teams is the New Jersey Nets, so that is
They went to the finals a couple times.
In 2005, they started 2-8.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I had to be what
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of the 26 are West teams.
Not surprising.
The other 18 are East teams. So you have such a small percentage chance to make the playoffs in the West if you start this low. Like you and I have talked about this a couple times after these post games. Like, all right, how long until you dig yourself into too much of a hole? And that hole probably happened last night against the Grizzlies when you guys did that show.
Yeah, I mean, if I were the owner of the team, which a lot of people think I should be in some ways, the first thing I would be having a sit down meeting, and I would say, explain to me right now why I should not fire you tomorrow. Because this is a horrible start. This team does not look anywhere close to being competitive. No. Beyond being 3-7, man. Like just watching the games, it's like this team is not even remotely close. So what's the reason? It would be injuries, and it's just like that's not good enough for me. Because yeah, with AD back, sure, they'll be better if he's playing. Lively, who knows? That guy's played in like 50% of his career games. So it is. I hate that so much, but that's just the truth. Does the NBA know that Dante Exum has passed away recently?
Has that been confirmed? I don't think I can corroborate that story.
Did you hear the preseason, NFL preseason, that Matthew Stafford was actually dead conspiracy?
not like he got replaced by a different Matthew Stafford.
It was that Matthew Stafford died and has been replaced.
Oh, like the Paul McCartney theory.
Yes, yeah.
That he is like a different person ever since like 1966.
I'm just worried about him.
Like the Mavs have been in the most clutch games of any team in the NBA. They've been in 6 of their 10 so far. They're 1-5 in those games. Would not be surprising. Even
2-5 now.
2 and okay, yeah, fair. 2-5, or maybe this was this the one win?
No, because the Pacers game was a clutch
game was a clutch game. Okay, so maybe they're 2-5 now, and they've been in 7. But maybe like an Anthony Davis changes those clutch games. Maybe Klay Thompson could have changed this game, or a Lively or Gafford being in one of those games. Like they have been injured. Like that's the other thing is there have been injuries. But you're right, and this is why I come to this conclusion that I'm just not impressed by a win like this, and it's not giving me any confidence that this team is going to turn a corner or dig themselves out of this hole at all. Is that they just haven't looked really good in any of these games at all.
That really is what it boils down to. Is it's like, again, if this were a kind of a dominant win, and hey, maybe they build off of this and they're like, all right, like let's and then they rattle off some wins, and then it's like, okay, maybe they did figure something out, or some bounces are starting to go their way, whatever the case may be. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing they've shown in the first 10 games of the season. In 10 games, I mean, it's kind of crazy. We're already 10 games into the season. Like we're
12% of the way through the season.
Yeah, man. Like we're kind of moving pretty quickly, and 10 games is that's like a chunk over the course of a season. When we're early in season, I like to say, man, these are losses or something that if they happen in February, you don't even think twice about. But since you're so early in the season, these things are heightened and stuff. But 10 games is a big enough sample where you're like, over the last 10 games, this team's done this. And you're like, oh, that's actually interesting. 3-7, worst offense in the league. And
by multiple points.
Yes, by historic margins is what, like Bobby Corolla tweeted out that one time. The funny thing is I do think Kyrie helps his team out a lot. But like we've said a bunch, is like, what are you going to be when he's ready? 10 games, 15 games under 500?
That's the thing, is how much will you be relying on him to try and make this make sense and do that. I mean, if Kyrie plays, maybe they win all the clutch games because he is a clutch player. He can add some offense, and the defense has been good enough.
Yeah.
But like it's the thing about Cooper Flagg we've been talking about all season. If your system relies on like an 18-year-old being awesome for it to work, great. If you're like that's not going to help. That's not going to work long term. If your system relies on injury-prone players like Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis to be present at all times, you're not going to get it done that way either. Coming up, we do have an update on Dante Exum that I will tell you about, and we did have some good play from Naji Marshall, so we'll give some credit. And we'll talk about that and more coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by DoorDash. Oh, I'm matching the DoorDash thing. The NBA season is heating up. DoorDash has found a perfect way to keep fans in their bag all season long, whether you're watching the highlights, your fantasy team, or just your favorite player, maybe on a team that plays in California. DoorDash makes every game night even
Russell
better.
Westbrook.
DoorDash is the ultimate on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, and they're celebrating something called the bag drop. Every time an NBA player scores 50 in a game, doesn't have to be a Mavericks player because I don't know if that's happening this season. DoorDash drops 50% off your order with DoorDash the next day, and you're automatically entered for a chance to win the ultimate fan bag. You get player-inspired drip, exclusive gear, stuff you'll actually want. I don't know if I've ever used drip like in a sentence. So next time somebody goes off for 50, use the promo code NBA50 the next day to get 50% off on DoorDash with Dash Pass, plus your shot at the bag drop. Dash Pass members only 50% off up to $10 the next day after 50-point game with promo code. Terms apply. No purchase necessary. Ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents 21 and older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash in your bag all season long. Also brought to you by Prize Picks. Prize Picks daily fantasy made easy. Go check out Prize Picks, see what you can do. And it's NBA season, and you don't want to miss the excitement of all the different things happening. There's no better time to jump in on the action. If you haven't tried it yet, Prize Picks is the simplest way to play and have fun. You can do it in Texas too, so go check it out and see what you got. And we got a couple of games coming up tomorrow. Giannis against the Rockets. 30.5 points is his. You have to pick more or less on that. And so let's say I'm going to pick more on that for Giannis. Kevin Durant, 24.5 points. I'm going to go less on that. And you can start building your lineup that way. Amon Thompson, 16.5 points. Let me go more on that. You start building your lineup that way. Have fun with it. You can play it in Texas as well. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use this code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad. That's what we call our listeners, listening every day. We appreciate you for checking out the show and listening, getting into it with us, watching Slightly on playback, and all kinds of great things you can do to hang out with us all throughout the week. All right, Slightly. We've done this before, you and I, where we've gotten on this show after a post game, and we've been like, it's terrible. It doesn't look great. They should fire the coach. We literally did that 2 years ago. Then the Mavs went on this run. There's no chance that like something clicks and all of a sudden this team goes on some kind of run, right? Because I got flashbacks when you guys did the show yesterday, like they should fire Nico Harrison, of us doing the thing like it's time to move on from Jason Kidd, and then the Mavs flipped this switch, became the best defense in the NBA for the last like quarter of the season, and then they went to the finals. I'm not saying they're going to go to the finals after this, but is there some kind of switch that can be flipped?
Try to think of realistically what would have to happen. AD comes back and is just not injured again, and
or AD comes back and he's in shape now.
I was literally just about to say that.
Because the Mavs did the exact same thing that they did with Luka a couple years ago, potentially. Yep. Again, conspiracy theory music playing.
Literally last year, that's what happened. The wrist injury. But that Lively comes back and plays. Coop turns a corner. Like I'm waiting for this moment for Coop because he has these flashes throughout games, these stretches throughout games, but I feel like we've yet to get a consistent. I would say we've yet to really get a consistent first quarter to fourth quarter from him, at least offensively. And I would say that could be the big one. Is Coop just like turns into the top? Hey, maybe this guy could be top 50, top 60 player immediately. Like he something just switches on for him, and he has like a stretch where he plays like that. But outside of AD coming back and looking like a top 10 player and Kyrie coming back, I really struggle to see where it comes from.
The thing is, like, everything has been underwhelming for this team. Like, everything. So, like, they could just improve across the board in all areas. I don't
You
know.
said how many clutch games they're in. They've been crushed a few times, but they haven't been crushed in every game.
Yeah, no, it's true, and we're waiting on it. The Grizzlies game obviously was one where they got crushed, but even the Thunder game, like they were competitive in that game. And that one was a little bit encouraging for us on that one. That was like a moral victory loss for me in that one. But you mentioned Cooper Flagg, let's talk about Cooper Flagg. So he goes on these little like runs. He has like these little moments in games. It's happened in preseason. It's happening now in the regular season over and over again, where you don't hear from him the entire like first half, basically. First half, 4 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, no free throw attempts, only took 5 shots, 2 turnovers in 16 minutes. You're just like, he's just not really doing very much for you. You know, he's involved here and there. And then third quarter, drive, finish, steal, kick out to Max Christie for a 3, rebound, alley-oop pass to Gafford that was awesome in transition, grabs a loose ball, finishes himself in transition, almost threw down that huge dunk that should have been a foul. Another good steal, took a risk on a double team, did have the turnover on that one. Another drive, finish on the other side of the basket. Like you just like all of a sudden you're like, man, third quarter he starts going off, and then he finishes, and you finished with 12 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, a couple of steals, but you have those really quiet moments from him. And to me, it is still that thing that we've talked about all season, that the Mavs are doing him a disservice by just being so disjointed that like how can he find his way in the NBA and while also trying to find his way with this Mavericks team too, where like vets can't find their way on this team right now.
Yeah. I mean, the third quarter was just all, we've seen this a couple of times this year where they'll come out of a halftime and Coop gets a first shot and it's a design play for Coop. And it's almost like they go in the locker room. They're like, we have to get Cooper Flagg going. Like we have to get him going. That's what we're going to do right out of halftime. But most of his play in the third was created by transition and, you know, all of those things that we knew he'd be good at right away. The thing is the Mavs just haven't had a lot of those opportunities this year. And I just feel like those are the moments where he feels the most comfortable, because then he had moments in the fourth quarter. I mean, CJ McCollum stood him up like 4 times in a way where it was like, ooh, that burned the tape on that one. those were some pretty ugly post ups. But I mean, the more looks in transition you can get him, the better it's going to be, the better it's going to look. So it's just trying to find those spots. And I think it's a team effort too, of just like, hey, if we get a stop and there's a rebound, like look for this dude running the floor. Because I did notice a few times this game where I was like, I would just see Cooper fly up the wing, and he just with no one to pass the ball, and then he would just go right to the corner and just sit there for the next 20 seconds. So, I mean, it's just, but like you said, everyone though, it feels like everyone is trying to figure out, is it my time? Like, am I the one? Like, I'm PJ Washington. Am I controlling this game? Like, am I the one who's going to get his buckets every time? Or if I'm Naji Marshall, it's like, okay, I guess I'm the one tonight that's got to carry us and take every single shot. So we'll see if it irons itself out over time. But again, we're just banking off hypotheticals because this team has not looked good at all. They don't look good tonight, really. They did get the win, which is nice, but you just hope it happens. That's kind of where we're at.
Gafford back on the minutes restriction, 18 minutes in this one. But you mentioned Naji. I mean, he's kind of the big story of this one. 30 points, 8 boards, 2 assists, 3 steals, hit 3 threes, which was huge for him. Went to the free throw line 11 times, hit 9 of them. So, and in 31 minutes, like he had 30 points on 14 shots. It's just a Naji Marshall game. And I would love to be able to celebrate games like this more, because he should be so like additive, like extra level. Like, oh man, we got all this stuff going. And all of a sudden, like, oh, things are breaking down for us. AD can't score this game or whatever. And then Naji can come out and score 30. And like, you're feeling really great about it because you have these role players that can step up. But it comes in a win where like you needed every one of Naji Marshall's 30 points against this Wizards team to lead you to get a win. And it's just like something about that just makes me so much more frustrated than it should.
Yeah, let me just say, man, Naji was awesome tonight. And,
awesome.
You know, when he's puts his head down and drives to the rim, he's one of the best drivers on this team. If not, I mean, he might be the best driver on this team with Kyrie out. Like, honestly, he really might be. But you know, and that's also why I said before the season started, it's like, should Cooper learn from Kyrie? It's like, well, Luke Cooper's never going to be Kyrie with the handle. He should learn from Naji Marshall.
Yeah,
and
right.
how Naji Marshall is able to get to his spot every single time whenever he wants to. But going off of what you said, I hate that I'm at this place as a fan. It really sucks. It's really brutal. It's one thing if it's in March or something and you're hoping that they tank and lose games and you're like, oh man, we needed to lose this one if we wanted to have the 8th best odds. You know, it's another thing when you're 10 games into the season. I should be happy about every single win. And it's just the fact that we're here and it's just like, ugh. I watched them win a game. I'm just like, man, this team, man, what am I witnessing? What am I watching? I'd want this GM to be fired. If you were to come to me before a game and say, hey, if tonight's loss guarantees that Nico Harrison gets fired, I'll be like, lose a game, please. Like, I do not care.
For the
Lose
greater
game.
good.
Yeah. And a few days ago, I was on here. I was like, I'd rather the Mavericks win a random regular season game in November than the Dallas Cowboys win a game. Like, that's really where I'm at. And now all of a sudden I'm just like, ugh.
It's a bad spot. It's a bad spot.
It sucks.
It's a bad spot to be in. Naji Marshall, though, still like the other thing about Naji Marshall is, I think it was Max Christie that said we've got to, like, nobody's gonna come save us. We've got to climb out of this ourselves in a way. And if they're going to climb out of this in some way, which they're only 4 games at under 500, you know, like they've looked really bad. But 3-7, I don't know. It can be done, right? 26 teams did make the playoffs out of the 180 that I mentioned at the top. But if they're going to pull out of this in some way, it's going to be on the backs of dogs like Naji Marshall, where he comes in,
Dogs. All of us, all 5.
and like he ignites them. Or Cooper Flagg had that dunk where he just like all of a sudden like flexes, and they start to build momentum based off of just some of those big moments. And I think Naji Marshall is going to have to be part of something like that.
Yeah, for sure. And these energy guys like Cisse checks in, and it feels like a whole different situation sometimes. So yeah, the energy guys are going to have to be the ones that sort of spark the team. I mean, I'm assuming AD comes back on Monday. That's what it sounds like. So that changes the dynamic for sure. You know,
he was questionable coming into this game, and which is good. He's been upgraded each time. He was out, then he was doubtful, then he was questionable, and so now we'll see what happens with Anthony Davis. He made the trip with the team, which is usually a good sign that they're like, all right, well, let's try it out and see what happens. Lively was also upgraded too, and so he was doubtful for this game instead of just straight up out. And so there is some kind of light at the end of the tunnel on the for this team, because like the guys will come back in some way. But then where would they go? They were not that great when these guys were playing anyway. So it's like,
yeah, and that's another thing too, is it would feel different if all those guys were playing and they were 3-7. Obviously that would suck, but then you could be like, well, they're kind of building, they're kind of working out some stuff, but then they're gonna have to go right back to square one of working out some of this stuff when these guys come back. But you know, it is nice. It's funny because we do the point guard thing and we advocated for D'Lo to start, and he's just been dreadful in these 2 games that he started. I still don't think this team looks better when a point guard's on the floor. Than Brandon Williams has been incredible the last 2 games. So I don't want to curse Brandon Williams by being like, hey, maybe you start Brandon Williams, because then I'm sure he'll probably start and then end up looking horrible.
we advocated so hard for D'Angelo Russell.
I know.
So hard
I
for
went
him.
to bat for him.
We went to bat so hard for him, like switch hit everything. Like we were like, okay, start D'Angelo Russell. Like how many times did I go on this show and talk about that? Jason Kidd does the thing, and then D'Angelo Russell has what, 3 stinkers in a row? Because I think he started 3 games now, right?
Yeah, and what was he? 3 of 10 from the field. I mean, he's like 35% from the field this season.
3 of 10 from the field, missed all 6 of his threes, 1 assist, no turnovers, minus 18. Nobody else was even more than -7. Like, we talk about the weirdness of the single game plus minus, that it can be weird and it doesn't always tell the right story, but it does tell something, and that something was not working when D'Angelo Russell was on the court.
I think what it also shows is Brandon Williams was legitimately very good tonight.
Agreed.
So him and Naji's paint pressure combined really helped out this team. So 30 free throw attempt. I mean, this team, what are they the worst free throw shooting team in the league? I feel like it's like almost a guaranteed like 70% every night, which is not good.
They are like one of the lowest 3-point shooting teams. They only took 24 tonight and made 6.
Yeah,
that's the second fewest amount that they've ever made in a game this season. Man,
That makes sense. They're just not going to shoot a lot of threes.
no. 75% on the year for free throws. That's 25th out of 30.
All right. Yeah. That's not as bad as I was thinking. I would have guessed like low 70s.
Wizards are lower than them. Pelicans, Pacers makes sense. Bucks are the lowest.
Good company.
And then Pistons. Bucks are the
Yeah,
lowest.
that makes sense.
Pistons
Bucks
is
makes
20.
sense because you have your best player is a bad free throw shooter.
Yeah. And the Pistons because you have like those bigs that get fouled a bunch.
Yeah. That makes sense.
You mentioned Brandon Williams is good. 14 points, 6 assists, 4 steals. He's another like energy guy that you need. Like it is funny though, the Mavs, they lack this energy sometimes, and yet you have an energy point guard in Brandon Williams, you have an energy big in Cisse, you have an energy like wing and Naji Marshall. PJ Washington can be an energy guy. Like Lively and Gafford can be energy guys. It just depends on how they're deployed in some way. But yeah, really good game from Brandon Williams, and they're getting little sparks here and there. And it would be way more fun if this was like a team that they had blown it up, and you're getting like, oh, Brandon Williams, oh, Musa Cisse, like, oh, maybe they can add to the core like long term.
Yeah.
Instead, we're like, oh my gosh, they're relying on Brandon Williams on a 30-point Naji Marshall game to beat the Wizards, bottom 5 in both offense and defense team.
It's crazy because outside of their 2 Mavs games, the Wizards have looked so bad. So bad. Quite literally, outside of those 2 games, they have been dreadful. And then I think the Sixers had like a nasty comeback on them. But I mean, yeah, it's interesting because they benched Klay. D'Lo has been playing good, so maybe we're reaching the point where they're like, all right, we're sorry, vets. Like B Will's gonna start, Chrissy's gonna start.
Oh, I forgot to give you my Dante Exum update.
Oh yeah, what's the X-Men update?
Are you ready? Jason Kidd.
I'm not a doctor, so I don't know.
Said that Dante
This will be
Exum will be reevaluated when they return to Dallas.
All right. Woohoo. Wait, no, I actually saw the quote. No. It's actually funnier than that. The exact quote, and I say exact quote, but I'm paraphrasing here, but I know for a fact he started the quote with, "That's a good question."
There you go. That's a great question. He's getting
That's
reevaluated.
A great question is crazy.
We'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that goes. That does not
I
sound
have to
encouraging.
apologize that you felt that he should have.
Shared more about the injury update from Dante Exum.
Oh man. Poor Exum, man.
Maybe we should do a show. It's me, you, and Isaac, and we just go on like we just each pick a rant of a thing. Where like I would love to go on a rant about this Dante Exum Omax thing. Like Omax is legitimately playing well for the Grizzlies, and maybe that's something that he just needed a change of scenery. But like the Mavs waived and stretched to add Dante Exum, so they had to take on the more money, and then Dante Exum has not played at all, not in the preseason, not in training camp. He's missed 12% of the season already. And they're just calling it right knee management. It's not even like a sprain or an injury. Like it is just one of the weirdest things that just feels like is so normal for this team in this era.
Yeah, I'll defend it because I don't think Omax is. I think Omax is whatever. So
sure, but you still like
no way
waved and stretched to
for sure. But Omax wasn't going to get an opportunity to really spread his wings at all in this team. So
maybe the way they were looking right now, they could use another energy guy.
I love the kid. Omax would not help this team.
I'm taking up for Isaac's
But
guy.
an injured Dante Exum isn't helping this team. So
No, he's not playing at all.
Klay, I mean, is there some?
Yeah, you want to go full on that?
It's a little interesting.
He gets benched.
He gets benched and is out the next game with an illness.
And he's out the next game with an illness.
He could be sick. We'll see. But it's interesting timing to say the least.
Hold on, real quick. Check Instagram. Meg.
Take the Insta stories. They might be close friends only.
Megan the Stallion. Let's see, Klay.
It's close friends only, which I'm on. I'm not gonna betray his trust.
Is there a video? Does he look sick in any of them? Does she have a story about going to get him soup or something?
Hey, it's just I'm interested in the timing. I'm not making a conclusion, but
not saying, just saying. If anybody wants to,
just saying. Caleb Martin was just a DMP coach's decision.
You know what we actually need for the Klay Thompson story? We need remember the Kawhi story where they're checking his like the realtors in the area were checking to see where he was buying a house or looking into a house. We need the DFW realtors to get together. Did Meg and Klay buy that house in Dallas or did they not? That's what we need to know.
Oh, is that a thing?
She was waving some keys around. We need to know if they're buying a house here. They're already looking elsewhere.
She's a Texas girl, and a lot of people who even play here for a month or two live in Dallas long term.
It's true.
You know, you get up in the Salina area and you can have a McMansion.
I don't think they need to move to Salina to have a McMansion.
But you're surrounded by nothing.
There is nothing in Salina.
There is nothing.
Even our friends at Rollertown left Salina.
Well, they've got that new one. That Frisco one is crazy.
I haven't been yet. I'm excited to go.
It is insane. But the further north you get, I can't do that. I can't do that. I have friends who have done it, and they're like, dude,
it's basically Oklahoma.
There's not there. It takes a long time to get anywhere, and I'm like, yeah,
I'm okay. I'm out. I don't need that much house.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. We'll be back tomorrow with more, talking about what is going on with this Mavs team, and maybe we'll do the rant wheel tomorrow. Maybe we'll do that kind of stuff, guys. Go check out Slightly Biased, great YouTube channel all the time. Good things happening there. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
I'm not playing. I'm watching, just like you guys.
Boom.
Don't let this team get hot, man.
From what?